Hello and welcome. I hope you're safe and well. Today's exciting episode is a sewing vlog. I just catch you up on what I've been doing and my plans for what will be next.
It's perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Perfect jacket.
So the last thing you see me make from start to finish was that sparkly object there in the navy and purple. And I made a simple jacket, but of course I overly complicated matters by beading the entire thing. And I've also, then you saw the visit to the fabric stores. I visited 2 stores, but I made it into 3 videos because I took so much footage of all of the lovely fabrics and trinkets and things. And yes, in the meantime, I have been working on the tweed jacket that looks like a vintage knit. And here is the first part of it. So thankfully I didn't take too much footage because it's literally just putting you one tiny bead after the other. You do one stitch to stitch it into place, and then you do another stitch to secure it, sort of keep it in place for always and ever. And at this point, I think there were a few bits at the top of the front and the back that I hadn't. I just finished just before filming this bit. And I'd done the cuffs on the sleeves and the sort of shoulders of the sleeves, and I'd done one whole sleeve pretty much. There was just a couple of little bits I hadn't done. And then I had the whole of the right sleeve to go, plus both under sleeves. And it's still not finished, but I did manage to get most of the right sleeve done. There's just like one row of pink left to do, I think. So here it is. This is what it looks like at the moment. And I'm going to see, I've started the undersleeves. I wasn't really sure what to do, but it came down to what sort of beads I had left, because they're quite long rows that you have to do with beads. So you have to have at least like 20 beads of whatever it is per side. So you have to have at least 40 beads to do a row of any particular type of bead, which sort of cut down my options significantly. So because I'm just using up my bead collection, so I've got to just count things out and go, okay, I can do these ones, I can't use these ones. So that pretty much dictated the beads that I used, but I'm still really happy with it. I mean, vintage knits, when they do the little patterns in them, I think it's pretty much, it started at least by sort of, I've only got this amount of pink, I've only got this amount of green wool, but I've got loads of the oatmeal, so I'll just do, featured decorations of this and this. So this is me just showing you what it looks like. As I said, on the right sleeve, there's a row, like one of those lighter white rows is supposed to be there, but the other one's supposed to be pink. The one underneath is supposed to be pink. And look at the back. This is like, the back is the biggest broad expanse, obviously. So, I mean, it's good that you get to do the entire row and not have to tie on and tie off like you do with, the 2 smaller front pieces. But it's also a massive expanse. So, this piece has just been such a labour of love. But it's actually really good to do an investment jacket every now and again, because the summer ones are great because you just sew them, do a little bit of hand sewing to finish them, and it's done. Whereas this one, I started planning it in the middle of last year, and obviously I bought the tweed years and years ago. But it's almost done. Got the undersleeves to go. So done the big beads, got the smaller ones to do. I think I can use those ones that look clear are actually a really pale pink, and I've got another jacket that I can use them on. So I think I'll just use the musky pink ones and the green ones on the undersleeves just to use them up. It's better than trying to sort them into a separate bag or just pour them into a bag and have yet more mixed beads that I never end up using, because it's just easier to go to the beads I haven't mixed and muddled yet. So, I mean, there's still a lot to go, but it's getting there. It's definitely getting there. It's like making a mosaic. And anyway, I do have plans for other things as well. I was thinking about these vests, and I'm going to make I love them as vests, and I will make more vests in different colours because I think they'll look good over different dresses with puffy sleeves. But I think I'm also going to make some more jackets. See the sleeves on this, how they're sort of puffy? Well, I think I'm going to use my vest pattern that I made and just add sleeves to it and make some summer jackets. So I think that will be cute. Because the sleeves are puffy, I'm going to need 2 yards of fabric. The green vest is the third one, and then it has the biggest armholes. So I think I'll go back to the armholes I had for the number 1 or 2. And that way, yeah, I won't have to gather any of the puffs. It'll just mean that you can wear the jacket over a dress that has puffy sleeves or one that doesn't have puffy sleeves. So yeah, that was my thinking behind that. I've got 3 different types of jackets I'm going to make in the next few months. There's the Chanel style one. There's the cropped vest style one with puffy sleeves. And then there's this one here, which looks very vintage. So it takes a yard to make this one here with the dolman sleeve. Dolman sleeves just means they're part of you cut out big shapes and stitch them together, whereas with a more structured jacket, you make the torso of the jacket, then you separately make sleeves and you set them or sew them in. So that's the difference between those ones. And the one with the set-in sleeves, the separate sleeves, takes more fabric. So that'll be 2 yards, 1.5 or 2 yards. And then the Chanel style ones. And of course, I'm also going to make Chanel style ones with tweed. This tweed that I just briefly showed you was a Linton tweed, but I bought it because it reminded me so much of this Chanel tweed that I have. Chanel tweed is obviously extremely expensive because they use the most expensive yarns and like they do experimental techniques and things like this. But I also love this. I mean, if you want to be kind of snarky and say that it's a cheap imitation of a Chanel tweed, technically you are correct. A Linton tweed isn't cheap, but it is less expensive than a Chanel tweed. I did a collections video a while back of all the Chanel tweeds I've made up into jackets. So if you want, I'll put a card up to that and you can have a look at them because Chanel tweeds are glorious, but so are all tweeds. I like working with all of them and wearing them. And it'd be nice to, I love that Chanel tweed jacket, don't get me wrong, but it attracts a lot of attention. It's very singular. So this is kind of the same, but it's less so. The other one, everyone always thinks it's an actual Chanel jacket, and that is not why I make jackets at all. I make them because I want to wear something I've made that is unique, not like I'm trying to copy something else. That idea just disgusts me. So anyway, it's like catfishing. There's this television show, Annika, and in one of the episodes, it's a crime about someone gets killed because there's a whole catfishing thing. And I just do not understand the concept of that. I don't get it. And when I was a kid, one of my older sibling was obsessed with that kind of thing, pretending they're with someone else because they just hate themselves so much. If you've identified the problem as being you do not like yourself, why not just fix that? Why not work on that rather than stealing the personalities of other people? I don't get it. Anywho, off the track, but so I'm going to make a Chanel style tweed jacket out of this, and as I was beading the vintage style jacket, I was looking at a lot of seed beads because originally when I bought this fabric from Linton Tweeds, I was like, oh, I've got these sort of dusty purpley whatever color they are pearls. They would be perfect for this, but actually I'm going to use them for a different Linton tweed I've already made into a jacket. So as I was making the vintage knit one, I was like, I could use really tiny seed beads and just bead over each of the little white bits in the tweed, and I could bead over that. And so I've got out colours that are in, like picked out the colours from the tweed, and I've sort of just been thinking about which one I should use. Here I've sort of laid out a few of them. So it's going to take a really long time to bead this one, but I want it to look like, well, in Edinburgh, when it rains, all the sandstone buildings get mossy, or in a forest, when it's there's a lot of moisture in the air, the moss grows on the trees. I absolutely love that look. So from far away, it just looks like it's boring old fabric, but when you get up close, it's got this living, like moss-like beading all over the top. So I do think some of the other colors look good, but I think I'll use them on other ones. Like this one here, I think I'll do pinks and dark reds and magentas in that one, and do a moss covering on that one to use those colors and make it sort of glow more pink and mauve. But with this one, I mean, I do have gold and I see how it would go perfectly, but gold is just gold, whereas green is living. So, I mean, if you wanted to make it more bling and look like, obviously expensive, then I think gold is the way to go. But I just like the idea of it glowing with life. And this is the other lint and tweed jacket that the tweed. It's absolutely gorgeous tweed, and it's got ribbons in it, and they've got this sort of dusty mauve colour, and that's why I did the silk lining in that dusty mauve colour. And I just think putting those glass pearls on that one would be so completely perfect and understated, but yeah, also bling at the same time. That's kind of what I strive to do, use as many beads possible in an understated way, so it's both bling and understated. That's my sweet spot for beading. Anyway, so, and I've also got this is a cotton fabric print, obviously, but I think when I showed you it in a fabric haul, I mentioned that I was going to over bead the little cluster flowers with beads, and that's what I mean. Like, you lay down the circle around the outside, and then you sort of build up the ones in the center, and it's 3-dimensional. It's going to be very cool. Anyway, that is it for this video. Got lots of plans and no time to do them, just the usual then. So I am off to finish this. It's just so close, I can practically taste it. So yeah, a few more sewing sessions on the underarms, and the entire outer jacket will be done. So first I have to clean up all the mess I made on my workbench. Ooh, these pieces look really good together, don't they? For Me Made May, I'm going to do like capsule collections where I get out, 15 or 20 pieces from my collection and say, oh, look, these ones, if you went on a holiday, you could take all of these ones. I'm currently thinking I'll do it in colour themes, so yellow, blue, pink, green, that sort of thing. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've been inspired, or you see my sewing sessions as a cautionary tale, either or. Thanks again for watching, and happy sewing.